I feel like I have a bit of a rant to share today, but I'll be nice about it. I just want to say for the umpteenth time, these luxury designer handbags are not investments. At least they're not good or smart investments. I've been saying this since the very beginning of my YouTube channel, going back 6 years ago. And at the time, everyone seemed to be saying that these are amazing investments. These are such smart, solid investments. Buy a bag now and sell it in a couple of years and make a huge profit. And I always said, that's so not fun. Like, these are supposed to be fun purchases for us to enjoy. If you're buying them as investments, that's a whole different ball game. And by the way, these are horrible investments. Now, we could argue that when I purchased this, it was much, much less expensive than it is now, and so I could technically flip it and sell it for more, but I would have made so much more money putting that exact amount into the stock market in a simple index fund. You know, if you're talking about investments, we have to look at the numbers. You have to run the math. That's what finances are, numbers. It's not an emotional purchase where you think something is pretty, but yay, you can sell it later after you've used it. Yeah, that doesn't make it a good investment. I feel like this word investment gets thrown around, and in the years prior, a lot of influencers, big time influencers, refer to these things as investment pieces in your wardrobe. Like a good quality coat is an investment piece, or a high quality handbag is an investment piece. But they didn't mean it, I don't think, as a financial investment. Or if they did mean that, I completely disagree. And I've been saying that since day one. I've never changed my tune. And now I find that the luxury conversations that we're having repeatedly are so boring. Luxury to me has become boring. Not that I'm not enjoying the items that I have, but the entire luxury space has become so predictable. People who are once very interested and aspiring to become, for example, Chanel customers or Hermes customers or any luxury designer brand customer, they are losing interest. They have lost so much interest that whenever I go into a boutique now, I live in New York City, I live within walking distance of all the boutiques on Fifth Avenue, Madison Avenue. I went in recently with a friend because she wanted to just browse. We went into Chanel, we went into Dior, we also passed by YSL. I'm always passing by the windows of Louis Vuitton, all these stores that are on the same, walking path. And whenever I peek in or I pop in, they're so incredibly empty. Like Chanel recently, we went in and it was eerie. It felt like spooky, because it was so empty, and there were many sales associates just sort of milling around. They looked bored, they looked restless. Same thing with Dior, beautiful window dressings, beautiful over-the-top decor in the store, which was very enchanting, but the bags were predictable. Now, I knew that the new season, the new collection of Dior is creating some buzz. It's very girly. It might be for you, but still the conversation is repetitive. Oh, the new collection, the new season, the new trend, and then it dies off and repeat, rinse and repeat. So I don't know if I'm just jaded because I have been making these videos for years now, but my excitement to keep up with the luxury space has definitely dwindled a lot over the years. The other thing that has been really predictable are the price increases. I mean, let's take Chanel, for example. The price increases have been so fast and so aggressive that, like I said before, it has priced people out of the brand, and those who can still afford to shop with the brand are just not interested. There are so many more options now outside of the luxury bubble that especially the younger generation of customers, they're looking elsewhere. I mentioned in my most recent video the idea of value over hype or value over brand name, and I definitely think that we're going more in that direction because customers have more information, we have become more conscious, we are more particular and picky about our shopping because there's so many more options. We can do a lot of research on the internet, we can watch videos, and we can be a lot more discerning about how we spend our dollars. The other conversation that has been going on for so long is around the quality decline. I have made so many videos. I've also done some live unboxings on this channel where right out of the box, it's like, oops, something's wrong. I see a defect. I see a quality issue, poor craftsmanship. We've been there. If you've been buying handbags long enough, we've been there. And even though this is a real thing, that quality has been declining in so many different areas of consumer products, not just luxury handbags, it's again very predictable, it's a boring conversation. And instead of just complaining about it, now we are empowered as customers to just choose a different choice. Or as we know, the pre-loved secondhand market has exploded over the years. In the past, when I was younger, that was kind of taboo, like you don't buy something that's used, but now it's much more sustainable, environmentally friendly, and it's kind of fun to hunt for something that is vintage, that had a life before, and you get to continue its life. It's great to be able to use something fully, right? I mean, when I was in my 20s, I had a couple of Gucci bags that I wore down to the bones. I probably bought them for about $800-900 each, and I sold them. Okay, I sold them for like $150 because by then I had gotten so much mileage out of them. They were dirty, they weren't falling apart, but they were worn. They were obviously worn, and I was done with them. But it had been years of like daily use. And right now, I feel like people will say, oh, that was a horrible investment. You bought them for $900 each and you sold it for like $150-200. To me, that was amazing because I don't think of bags as investments. I think of them as things, material things that were created for us to just use and enjoy. And I use those bags so thoroughly. What happened to buying what we like, not based on resale value, not based on brand hype and marketing, not based on price, but what we like, what we think is worth it for us, for our lifestyle, for our use, and then using that thing so well before discarding it? I want to go back to the old days. Like, I have clothes from my college days. I still have a coat from when I was 19, a black coat that looks great and I still wear it. And so that's how I want to approach bags. Like, just use what you have, enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Get the value out of your purchase versus thinking investment. And if you have bags that you're not using or you're not enjoying, then let them go. Maybe someone else can enjoy them. Like, keep that cycle alive, keep the life of the bag alive, right? But it's not an investment. It's not like, oh, I can't let it go because I'm not going to get my money back. It was never an investment. The other thing that I'm getting really bored of and just growing fatigued around is this trend turnover. Things move so fast and there are new collections coming out. I feel like every day I can barely keep up. Back a few years ago, I used to make videos with my commentary on new collections. And I still do that from time to time, but I can't do it as much now because I can't keep up. It's too much. And what that means is that it's creating just this churn and burn and churn and burn. A bag that you bought 6 months ago is now not in anymore. Like, it was once an it bag and seen everywhere, all over social media, and now it's old news. As someone who is really interested in handbags and I notice people's handbags when I'm on the streets and I'm talking to people, I like to see different styles, different brands. I like to see a mix, old, new, novel, never heard of. I don't want to see the same trendy bag on every arm everywhere I go. That is boring. I wish we can just go back to the simple truths. What does this look like? It's leather, thread, and metal constructed together to make something we can carry, to put our items inside so we don't have to hold them in our hands. Once we use this, everything will start to fall apart. These will eventually disintegrate. Period. In the meantime, we can have fun with them. So I don't know if this sounded like a rant. If you agree with me on some points, if you disagree on some points, if you disagree with everything, feel free to leave a comment down below. I am totally open to debate. I welcome debate. I'm open to all different points of views. This is just my point of view, and that's just where my head is at right now. I just wanted to be completely candid and transparent about it. Probably a bit odd coming from someone who is a YouTuber and makes videos about handbags, but in the last 2 years or so, I have really shifted into exploring other brands. You guys know that. I really love that there are so many more options, and now because of the internet and social media, it's easier to discover these options, whereas back in the day, it was harder to learn about smaller brands because you only see the big brands in the ads and the big brands with the big stores on the big streets, right? So in a way, I feel like younger consumers are in a much better place. They have more options. They're really thinking about value. And I feel like they're more empowered, taking back how they use their dollars. Because just a couple of years ago, there was this mad chase to keep up with price increases. Let me get that bag before the next price increase. And now it's sort of like, another price increase, predictable, boring. I wasn't going to get one anyway. I'm going over here, right? So that's my 2 cents. Hope you enjoyed this video in some way. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Do leave your comments below. I will be reading all of them, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.